The Earth, our home. This is a story about fantastical creatures, the grandest, most powerful mammals to walk the continent. This story should serve as a warning to the fragility of our planet and what the future holds for us. But this story begins with a question. Why are the world's largest land mammals located in the regions of Africa and Southern Asia? The African forest, Asian, and African bush elephants are the first, second, and third largest land animals respectively. 9 out of the 10 largest land animals are located in these regions. Why are they concentrated in this small pocket of land when historically large fauna roamed all corners of the earth, and not just a small section like this? Much of this large fauna, Megafauna if you will, is now extinct. Dozens of species of Megafauna were eliminated in the largest extinction event since an asteroid slammed into the earth and wiped out the large dinosaurs. Answering the question of why these megafaunal species went extinct will help explain why Africa and Southern Asia have such a large concentration of large mammals. But one thing is for sure, an asteroid isn't to blame for these extinctions, and it's likely to be for reasons a lot closer to home. Our story starts around 130,000 years ago, during the late Pleistocene and the Holocene. The Pleistocene and Holocene are both epochs, or stages, in the Earth's timeline. These epochs are when the near-time extinctions occurred. These extinction events didn't happen all at once. Instead, what's interesting about these extinctions was that they occurred on most continents and many islands at a variety of different rates. The North and South Islands of New Zealand can provide us with some evidence of why. New Zealand is an island paradise with a temperate climate. Many of these large animals that used to call these islands home no longer exist. We had to say goodbye to the moa, one of history's largest flightless birds, Haast's eagle, the largest eagle in the world, and 30 other bird species. And the cause of this? Us. Humans. Just 1 century after the first human arrival, these animals were all but extinct. No other place in the world has yielded as much evidence supporting the overkill hypothesis. The overkill hypothesis is a theory that humans were the reason for the near-time megafaunal extinctions. The theory is predicated on the fact that as humans spread across the globe, they would discover new species that had no idea what humans are capable of. These animals didn't realize the danger that they were in, and we humans were able to hunt the vulnerable megafauna at an unprecedented level. The initial carnage would become so significant that any species which survived the onslaught wouldn't be able to ever recover, but instead face a slow decline until extinction. In New Zealand, when humans arrived, many of the species that call these islands home were overhunted, evident by the many kill sites containing large numbers of modified bones of extinct species and butchered animals. But overhunting isn't the only way humans exterminated megafauna. The fossil record at La Brea tar pits in Southern California show us a warming and drying of the area, changing a lush woodland environment into an arid and dry one. During this period of intense drought, it appears that the rate of fires increased at unprecedented levels. The cause? Rapid growth of human populations in the region. These fires inflicted large-scale ecosystem damage to the area, damage that the saber-toothed cats, camels, and the giant sloths never recovered from. Of course, the human species doesn't inhabit all corners of the globe. This is the North Slope. Here, humans didn't play a role in any megafaunal extinctions. Instead, a new theory emerges: the climate change hypothesis. This theory stipulates that it was natural climate change that caused the mass extinction of large fauna. In northern Alaska, cycles of prosperity and hardship were regular occurrences for the species living there. But they were also able to survive and be resilient. Unfortunately, this resilience would come to an end because of one crucial factor: rising sea levels. The many peatlands that allowed the mammals living here to disperse and escape the imminent danger were degrading. With escape routes severed, it left the megafauna vulnerable to the whims of the climate, because if their current environment became unsuitable, they could not escape. Of course, it is rarely just one factor which influences a mass extinction, and to understand what really happened, it must be looked at on a case-by-case basis. Today, we are subject to climate change, rising sea levels, and our own degradation of the Earth's ecosystems. This all begs the question: why were Africa and Southern Asia spared from the carnage of the rest of the world? And how can we learn from it? Both the overkill hypothesis and the climate change hypothesis have an explanation for this. Homo sapiens and early human species are commonly believed to evolve from these areas. This allowed the fauna around them to co-evolve. The megafauna here had time to adapt into our partners rather than casualties. The climate in Africa and Southern Asia changed along with the rest of the world. So why didn't the megafauna die out there as well? It's because the climate change changed between biomes that megafauna could survive in, such as between savannas and grasslands. The location of Africa and Southern Asia on the globe near the equator meant that more sunlight hits those areas. This means that instead of transitioning between glacial climates, leading to massive shifts in the makeup of the environment, Africa and Southern Asia stayed warm and open, meaning even if one part of the region became inhospitable, the megafauna could migrate elsewhere. For humanity to be resilient in the future, we need to learn from these extinctions. The first lesson is that we can't just dismiss a threat because we don't understand it. When megafauna met humans, they didn't understand the danger they were in and paid the price. The second lesson is that our ability to migrate and travel is vital for our species' resilience. When megafauna in northern Alaska lost dispersal routes to rising sea levels, they also lost resilience to the climate. The final lesson is that there is no permanence when it comes to life on Earth. We've seen from the death of the megafauna to the extinctions of the dinosaurs that eventually eras will come to an end.